Okay, let's talk about YouTube. And now we saw this announcement yesterday from the Communications Minister. But Di, a great headline. How this is done in practice, a little bit different, perhaps more difficult. Any concerns?
Look, I have actually, I opposed the social media ban for under 16. I think that, we've had, groups that have come to, talk to us, especially people who are supporting young people, that they feel that the way that the government is pushing this ban will actually have impact on especially young people. We need to ensure that there are measures in place, and there are measures in place that can, that protects young people. But sure, banning people from using social media is not a way to go. I just don't believe in banning anything from my perspective.
I suppose, Di, though, that, this piece of legislation, the social media legislation, is about protecting young people. It's about protecting our young Australians, and this is a measure that the government can take. I mean, the government ultimately does have a priority to not only serve the Australian people, but also to protect the Australian people. And I think that's what this social media ban does. It protects our most vulnerable Australians, particularly when they're in that period of sort of neurological development as they're sort of progressing through their younger years, through their teen years, through that sort of the primacy of their education. And we don't only want their education to be compromised by some of the things that we see on these applications, on these platforms, but
I agree with
we also want them to be able to grow and connect.
The intent in and of itself has a really profound effect. It helps parents like myself say, I even said to my 8-year-old, the government banned YouTube. She said, I thought they already did that. I was like, oh, yeah, I told her that when they did Instagram. But anyway, now she's, the government has not made a liar out of me, which is very good. But, kids are always going to get around it. I don't think that's ever a reason not to put in place laws. But I think with YouTube, it's really difficult to see how this works. You can watch YouTube without a login. A lot of it's done on television, not just on, personal devices. And so therefore, when does the facial recognition come in, if it does at all? So I just think YouTube is really hard, and you're setting up a fight with the US. I mean, the tech bros are in Donald Trump's ear, and Donald Trump uses this as leverage too, Gordon.
Yeah. Look, I think at the end of the day, it's a team effort. The government is setting up the framework, it's setting up the legislation to protect children, to protect our most vulnerable, but also to assist parents so that they're able to parent in a safe way that protects their children from the online dangers of harm from those applications and from those streaming services. And this isn't saying that everything on YouTube is bad. I think back to when I was in high school. And I was using YouTube in order to learn advanced concepts in mathematics, like matrices and the like. But, I did that alongside my parents, and I did that alongside my teachers, so that I wasn't exposed to other online harms that some of these platforms perpetuate, with doom scrolling and these unlimited feeds.
I don't think so.
So I think it's a team effort. I don't think we can only have it only being in the court of the ball in the court of one person. And also too, there's a corporate responsibility. These big tech giants need to also ensure that they're protecting the communities that they serve.
Oh, look, absolutely. But I think when you ban something, people will find a way around it.
Sure.
And therefore, what would that mean? And young people have already come up to me and messaged me saying, please, miss, make sure they don't ban us having access. Now, a lot of young people are using social media, I believe, responsibly. They're using it responsibly. So I think by banning it, are we creating danger? And the other part of this whole social media ban is, what does it mean about identity, getting, us to, upload to ensure that our privacy information, to ensure that we are above a certain age to access this kind of social media platform. So there's a lot of other ramifications that we need to consider.
I've got to say, I disagree with that because, we need to make sure that we protect our kids. That's the number one priority.
Oh, absolutely. I agree.
And what this legislation does is it goes to protecting those young Australians. And I think that if we just sit here on our hands and do nothing, then we're only going to see a perpetuation and an increase in the harms done to our young children by some of these
But you stop
giants.
kids accessing information that will help them as well.
And they can still access information with parents and also with teachers and the like in a controlled manner.
But they do have access to that with teachers in particular, parents who work a lot of the times. Sure. I mean, you know, like they're not going to be sitting there. You're lucky to have your parents sitting there as you go through social media and you to study.
But
the thing is, but it is a safe. No, but it is, from my perspective, kids access it responsibly. So I think when we're stopping it, there are other ramifications and the unintended consequences in banning anything.
All right, let's talk quickly. I want to talk about work from home. We saw the intervention of the Health Secretary yesterday saying it's going to have massive productivity measures with the amount of public servants working from home. Gordon, this was a gift to you during the election. But what do you think now?
Look, I've got to tell you, my constituents in the electorate of Robertson are and still are extremely supportive of working from home measures.
Of course they are, because they're not having to worry about the productivity issues. What about what the Secretary says?
It provides flexibility in the workplace, but it also provides flexibility in the community.
Flexible aspect, Gordon. He's talking about that too many people are working from home too much. Do you accept that that is a problem, particularly in the public service?
Look, what I would accept is that people in my community and right across Australia continue to want working from home because it is a flexible workplace arrangement. I still remember one key moment in the 2025 federal election. I was standing at Woy Woy train station. It was 5 o'clock in the morning, and every single commuter, this is not an exaggeration, I know we're pollies, we like to exaggerate, but every single commuter came up to me and said, if you change working from home, I will not vote for you. I will not vote for you. And I, at that moment, went, right, this is a big issue within our community. People want to be able to work from home, particularly too from a commuting electorate like Robertson and Dobell. You know, we have lots of people going to Newcastle, to Sydney, to Wollongong, and
what about the quid pro quo?
They can continue to undertake their work from home.
When it comes to, we've had Business New South Wales today on behalf of employer groups, say that's fine. People can work from home. We get that's part of the modern world now and arrangements, but perhaps they shouldn't have penalty rates. If you're working from home, why should you be getting, double time and a half if that's the case?
Oh, we're talking about penalty rates. Well, look, in terms, I mean, I thought we've always had penalty rates anyway, especially when you work on weekends. So,
yes, but if you're working from home, then does that change the equation there? Does there need to be a quid pro quo with business? If, there is an overwhelming amount of people working from home and business are concerned about that productivity, I mean, do penalty rates remain in place as they are when more people are working from home? I mean, I don't know in what job you would be working from home on a weekend and getting penalty rates, but I'm sure it's happening.
Oh, look, I mean, the majority of my community, they work in factories, retail, really, so they can't really work from home. There's a small percentage of people who do work from home, and I agree that in terms of commuting into the city. But if those people commuting into the city are mainly office workers, professionals, really, and I don't think they normally work from on a weekend from home, on a Saturday or Sunday. It's mainly Monday to Friday. It's the office works on Monday to Friday. So I think that if you work Monday to Friday, you work from home. Obviously, there's going to give and take for businesses because you cut the cost down of having to pay for commute travel.
What if you're a telehealth nurse that's working from home?
These are all the easy examples, though, Gordon, aren't they? These are all the easy examples, though.
At 2 o'clock in the morning to a rural or regional community. I think
no one would deny
I don't think the conversation's as simple as we're making it.
No, that's right. Well, look, on that note, let's pick this up next sitting week. Good to see you both. We're well out of time.